Hey friends, did you know parts of President Trump's new One Big Beautiful Bill are already getting blocked in court? If you're a senior relying on Social Security, Medicaid, or watching tax changes, these legal fights could hit your wallet or benefits. Let's dive into what's happening and 4 key tips to stay prepared. Trust me, this could make a big difference. This massive bill, signed into law on July 4, 2025, promised changes like tax breaks and shifts in funding for programs like Medicaid. But federal judges are hitting pause on some parts while lawsuits play out. For seniors on fixed incomes, this could mean uncertainty around your benefits, taxes, or healthcare. It's like trying to plan your grocery budget when the prices keep shifting. Let's break down the big legal battles and what you can do to stay ahead. First up, healthcare. A federal judge in Massachusetts stopped a part of the bill that would have cut Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood clinics. This happened fast, within days of the bill passing. The judge issued a temporary injunction, meaning hold off for now. A bigger hearing set for July 21, 2025, to decide if the funding stays or goes. Why should you care? These clinics provide affordable services like cancer screenings, blood pressure checks, and diabetes care, things many seniors rely on, especially in rural areas with few doctors. This isn't new. Medicaid funding for these clinics has been debated for years, but this time it's tied to a bigger law, making it trickier to challenge but easier to pause in court. Some argue this ruling protects access to care, while others, like Senator Mike Lee, call it judicial overreach, even suggesting impeachment for the judge. For now, funding continues, but that could change soon. My tip? Contact your local clinic to ask if they expect changes to hours or services. If you help a loved one with medical visits, check if their provider might be affected. Staying proactive can save you stress later. Now, let's talk about something you might not expect: guns. The bill removed a $200 tax on certain firearms, like silencers and short-barreled rifles. That's been around since the 1934 National Firearms Act. That tax wasn't just about money. It required owners to register the weapon, provide fingerprints, and pass background checks. A process that could take months. Gun rights groups filed a lawsuit in Texas, arguing that removing the tax weakens the entire law. They're not just fighting the tax, they want all those rules gone. And they filed in a court with a Trump-appointed judge, which wasn't random. It's a strategic move. For seniors, this could raise safety concerns if these weapons become easier to get without oversight. But here's the bigger deal. If the court agrees that scrapping a tax can unravel a law, it could affect other tax-based programs, like parts of Social Security or Medicare down the road. My advice? Stay informed about this case. If you're involved in community groups or care about safety, talk to others about how this might impact your area. Knowing what's coming can help you plan. Here's another angle to watch. The bill's legal battles go beyond healthcare and guns. It barely passed, 51-50 in the Senate, with Vice President Vance breaking the tie, and just 4 votes in the House. That tight margin makes it a target for more lawsuits. Environmental groups are gearing up to challenge cuts to green energy programs, which could raise utility costs for seniors on tight budgets. Education advocates are worried about changes to student aid formulas, which might affect your grandkids or family members. There's even talk of challenging the bill's increased immigration enforcement funding on technical grounds. All this legal back and forth creates confusion, especially if you're on a fixed income. One day, a tax break or benefit is active. The next, it's paused. This bill's broad scope makes it a lightning rod, and the courts are moving fast, with rulings coming days after it became law. That speed shows how contested it is. To stay ahead, check trusted sources like SSA.gov or IRS.gov regularly for updates on benefits or taxes. If you work with a benefits counselor or financial planner, ask them to flag changes. A practical tip: set a calendar reminder every 2 weeks to look for news on these cases. Things are changing quickly, and you don't want to be caught off guard. Let's go a bit further. These court fights could change how laws are written in the future. If judges rule that removing a tax, like the one on firearms, can collapse a law, Congress might rethink its approach. They could write laws in smaller pieces to avoid big court challenges, or steer clear of tax-based policies altogether. For seniors, this is huge because programs like Social Security and Medicare rely on tax structures. A shift in how courts view these could affect your benefits years from now. Plus, the uncertainty makes budgeting tricky. Imagine counting on a tax break to cover medical costs only to find it's tied up in court, or relying on a clinic that might lose funding. Here's an extra tip. Keep a simple notebook or digital note on your phone to track benefit or tax changes. Jot down dates and details from reliable sources. It's an easy way to stay organized when things feel chaotic. Another step you can take is to join a local senior group or online forum where folks share updates on benefits or tax changes. Sometimes, hearing what others are experiencing can give you a heads up on what to expect. Staying connected keeps you in the know. So where does this leave the bill? It's law, but it's not set in stone. Some parts are paused, others are headed to trial, and more challenges are coming. For seniors, this means uncertainty around Medicaid, Social Security, taxes, or even community safety. The courts will decide what stays, what changes, or what gets tossed out, and that could shape your healthcare, costs, or benefits for years. Isn't it wild how one bill can stir up so much? I hope this made sense of these legal challenges. What do you think? Are the courts stepping in too much, or are they keeping things fair? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If this helped, give a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more updates on Social Security, taxes, and retirement. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you next time.